Good morning, you muffin munching muggles. It's story time. Yes, it's story time again. Welcome to Fiction and Reality, where we make you, yes, you, the most devilishly gifted human you know you are, and you know you can't be. Look at this. Someone gave me a mic. I'm never going to shut up now. Never. I know you're all just raving and roaring to find out what it is that we're talking about today. Well, we will be talking about motivation.
Just do it!
Hey, you. Yes, you with the Big Mac. Put that Big Mac down. Put it down now. Perhaps more now than ever, we as a people have been fighting the greatest internal war with an enemy of our own unchoosing. A battle of devotion, determination. I describe it as a black beast, a raging whirlpool, crashing tides, whirling us round and round and round and round and round, but never quite swallowing us whole. But exactly who are we fighting? What are we fighting? We'll be exploring who or what that faceless enemy is and how to combat or rather roll the tides to a coast of staunch discipline. First off, I'm not going to yokel your pancakes here. I'm not going to stir your eggs. I'm not going to crunch your toast. We're not going to do the whole red eye, bullhorn, raging motivation promo. You know what I'm talking about, right? You don't?
Why am I making money? I have nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. I have it all. I have 4 Kernan's eggs, a Rimac, a Bugatti, 53 other cars, 40 properties. There's nothing to buy.
Never say no. You never say it can't get done. Don't you ever say out your mouth it can't get done. Even if you feel in your heart it can't get done, you don't say it out loud. You let the broke folks say that. You can't. If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You gotta hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day.
Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. What I learned in the gym is you gotta go out there and fail. You gotta go out there and fall down. Come on! That's really what bodybuilding's all about.
Well, now that that's over, let's take a look at society. I'm not going to blame society. I'm going to blame you. However, I am not so arrogant as to pretend that some people do not endure more suffering from others. Ultimately, what course your life takes, what path you choose to walk down, all hinges on the decisions you make. You can hold a gun to someone's head, but only you can decide whether or not to pull the trigger. Now, I want to make it imperative that I too struggle with motivation. Yet what ironically helps me escape is the feeling of being trapped, ensnared, feeling of cold iron bars closing in all around me. And ultimately, the degenerative loss of passion, the progressive and degenerative loss of passion to pursue my own goals. Whoever you are, wherever you are, there will undoubtedly be seemingly insurmountable obstacles that stifle your desire. And you may, of course, see those barriers compound infinitely depending on what socioeconomic category you reside in. And the term I use to describe this is the fiery walls of callousness. You say there are too much walls to climb. You live in good old America, do you? With them good old boys in Dixie.
You don't represent the South. You don't represent Southern heritage or Southern culture, and you damn sure don't represent white people.
Then you've seen and had to claw and kick the conscience that slowly drags you back to those forbidden golden nuggets that you know you aren't supposed to eat. Right under those sweet golden arches where devils lurk. I told you to put the burger down. Staring into the white eye. Blasting your neurons with dopamine, swearing to yourselves that you only take a moment of rest, and a moment of rest is warranted. But how many times have those moments of rest spindled and spooled into minutes, into hours, days, weeks, months, and even years of staring into that static void? TV. Of mindlessly scrolling that tic-tac on your phone, hitting all them right angles. There's nothing else you take from this video, right? Let's extrapolate a microcosm of the population to give you some innuendo into what can stifle someone's motivation. A Pew Research survey for March found that 72% of US teens say that they feel peaceful when they don't have their phone, while 44% say it makes them feel anxious. And yet, the average American spends 4 hours and 36 minutes looking at their phone every day. Imagine what you could do with that time if you didn't cleave it away. And that quickly compounds and adds up to about 1 day every week, 6 days every month, eventually 70 days every year. And let's not even talk about what they're looking at. Ugh, God. The fiery wall doesn't need to be climbed, but rather extinguished. These are things, regardless of class, that you as an individual and you alone can siphon away to reroute your energy elsewhere. Moving onward, realize that the majority of people are not necessarily happy with their lives. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, I describe it as a glassy cage. You see, if you trap a bear in a cage, if you latch a bird in a coop and throw away the key, if you trap a human in an infinite routine with no side of ending, with no light at the end of the tunnel, then they will kick and claw and growl and seek any means necessary to escape. What is the glassy cage? The illusion of freedom. It's so programmed into everyday sayings that people have become accustomed to the point of normalization. But I can assure you, the natural state of humanity, or any living being on this God-given earth, is not to be caged. I wish I could spend more time with my kids. I wish I didn't have to go to work so early. I wish I didn't have to stay so late. I wish the boss would finally promote me and acknowledge the fruits of my labor. I wish they would see just how much hard work I put in. I wish I could afford that. And I wish I had enough time. These comments, they carry the connotation of a collared dog with no free will. And it leads you to ask yourself, how much luxuries of life do people willingly push aside due to structured routine and an accustomed lifestyle? The illusion of freedom is extremely dangerous, and in fact, it is the most dangerous element in smothering motivation. I'd liken it to a cocaine dealer. Yes, a cocaine dealer. They sprinkle just enough magic snow on you to scratch that itch, but not so much as to keep you days apart from needing to come back to them to get your next hit. Haven't you wondered why financing, budgeting, investing, all the elements that you need to escape isn't a part of the normal curriculum in grade school? Instead, they teach you how to find the angle of a square, find the angle of a cube. Billy, you quit digging in your nose. Shut up when I'm talking. Do not speak unless you're spoken to. In fact, the very first lesson you were taught, regardless of what class you reside in, is in fact obediency and complacency, which of course is proficient in moderation and everyday functioning in society. But absolutes, when dealing in absolutes, absolute obediency, absolute complacency is retroactive to the cause. You see, you are needed to fuel the machine for a hungry few. a renewable resource, infinitely complacent, with all the sight through the looking glass, but no motivation to forage, and thus revoking the chance to uncover the walls that you swore were not there. So why is it that these gray clouds of miasma are swooping in upon you, this beautiful, sparkling looking glass? Simple. Because if the illusion of freedom does not work for you, then you will not work for society. What's even worse is that if you try to escape, most will chase you down. And before you even find the glassy walls, make it there, drag you right back to them, and tell you it's dangerous outside. Then you go back to mindlessly scrolling your Tic Tac, watching your daily dose of division, and stuffing Chester Cheeto Slink right down your gullet. This is a family show, by the way. Feel free to bring your kids. What's even worse than the glassy cage, in my opinion, is self-rationalization. It's whispers in your ears. Don't go outside. It's dangerous there. Well, the truth is, if you're living an illusion of freedom, then you need to sacrifice something to break free. Whether it be your fear of the unknown or cutting ties with others, the truth is, there is only one way out. One way out. To snap and reset the world into oblivion. No. Obviously, I'm joking. Thanos was right. The only way out, regardless of class, is to set goals, a refined course for what you want to achieve, and unapologetically pursue them. Relinquish self-rationalization and fight back against those who want to drag you back inside the fiery walls, back inside the glassy chamber of complacency and obedience. Self-rationalization. The little engine who couldn't. What is self-rationalization? What I describe as a mechanism of self-preservation and pride and identity to convince oneself a goal is unattainable without even so much as trying to attempt to support this perceived futility. In what scenario could you not blame the world? Depending on where you were born, who you were born to, golden nuggets you lack or were given to set you forward in the path of life. If my father never died, if my father wasn't a drunk, my family was rich, if I just wasn't this short. Hope, no matter how you try to spin it, is not a strategy. And so the earth will continue to spin. Time will continue to push forward, all while you stay stagnant and stout, waiting for hope. So what will you do? Well, everyone deafens their ears to your pleas, and some silence and drown out your voice with their own cries of angst. How do you break free, you ask? You must remain consistent. You must remain consistent. Remain consistent in protecting your time. It should be sacred to you. Your time is what you need allotted to enrich, to refine the skills that you're marketing that are going to help push you forward in that stepwise fashion to ultimately achieving your goals. You must remain consistent in suffering, enduring, even tolerating the most stringent of circumstances, some of which, unfortunately, are more stringent than others, and what brings upon great decay and suffering, depending on what you were given, what you were set out with in life. I guess what I'm trying to say in regard to that is, yes, some people suffer more than others. With all the weight of the world thrust upon your shoulders, with all the world screaming and hounding, who else will listen more closely to your cries but yourself? You and you alone are the answer to your own lack of motivation. And to quote Dr. Seuss, yeah, we're taking this back to grade school, baby. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, then nothing is going to get better. It's not. Set a course and sell the tragic crashing seas of life, assuming that no one will save you. God, it's kind of dark. Did I write that? That's pretty dark, man. Find comfort in your illusion of freedom, or you can find comfort in your illusion of freedom and complacency and forever blame your own circumstance. I encourage you to place the onus on yourself, to lift out of the muck and mud, set a course for success based off your greatest passions, and rip through the black beast. This is your life, and only you can veer the course and bear the consequences for the decisions you choose or fail to make. With that, we come to our close. Now, I want to know what thoughts you have on motivation. What things stifle you on your pursuit to persevere, to achieve and attain your own goals? I thought I told you to put the burger down. Are you scrolling TikTok? TikTok, my bad. Are you scrolling TikTok? Are you hitting all them angles the way you supposed to be hitting them angles, baby? You hitting them angles the way you supposed to be hitting them angles. Also, I wanted to make you all aware that I will be putting link to a Discord, Reddit, Twitter handles, and Instagram handles in the chat. I think it's time we begin to build this community. This is something I will remain consistent in. Consistency. This is something I will remain consistent in on my own journey to writing my novel. And I hope to uplift other people who are also on their own journey in writing and simply just through life, right? There's going to be more videos like this. I'm not caging myself into just writing material, right? Though that's probably going to be an abundance of the material that I make. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And of course, just like last video, it is time for me to grovel. It is time for me to grovel. Yes. Yes, it is time for me to grovel. Like, subscribe, please. And just like always, if you find yourself lost in a forestry of words, tear your mind from fantasy and look to the window of the world.